second or third live broadcast. It took me well over an hour this time to get into this. Don't really know why it's so hard. But anyway, I had to load and reload and unload and reload and restart. And anyway, I'm in the real component. So hopefully somebody can shed some light on why this is so hard. I know it's so easy for everybody else, but maybe I need a new setup, or I need to reinstall some software, because it couldn't be as hard as it was for me, for everybody else. So I must be doing something wrong. So enough of that, okay? I just want to take a little bit of time now to talk about world peace. You know, we're trying to get set up to get some information out and start going out to the public. And so anyway, I was going to have a meeting tonight, a live story tonight, but my sister and niece are actually still at the theme park here, so we can't do it together here, which just would have been a talk. And it's too late to get any other people here, I think, now, at this point. But anyway, let me just say that I'd like to talk a little bit about world peace. And it's not a very easy topic. It's a very tough topic. And it isn't because we don't have a lot of answers. We do. We do have a lot of answers. And it isn't because the problems are unsolvable. They are solvable in many cases. But it's because of the way the nature, I guess it's human nature, the way people are, how fearful they are, and how problematic things can appear to them. And there's a lot of reasons, I think, why it's difficult to solve our world problems, and why we haven't had world peace for as long as we've been here. Starting with the first cave people that were sitting around the fireplace, they had problems too, and it's just kept going, and it only seems to get worse. So now we're faced with very difficult problems, and now they're becoming existential problems. Now they're becoming problems that can't be easily solved. So, and if they're not solved, then the human race is at risk. So, not to belabor that point, because you don't want to scare people, but anyone can figure this out. It's not a secret. I'll just touch on some of the things that we are worried about. The number one thing is probably nuclear. Because we have, I don't know, like thousands of these nuclear missiles out. Poised to take off and impact areas, and there's an existential risk for that. Now, I'm not sure that that's what we want to talk about when we start our world peace initiative. We don't want to talk about it and scare people, because that would just turn them off. So that's kind of the way it always is. It's not just us now trying to talk to more people. It's no matter what you say to anybody, if you bring up a negative thing, a lot of times they don't want to face it because they don't have to, at least not right then. So, and maybe it's just human nature, but for whatever reason it is, it's very, very hard to get reasonable people to come up with reasonable solutions. So, how do we go about doing something about that? And there has to be a way to do something about that, or else we may have real problems.
So my view is the way to possibly fix that is to get people to come together and talk about the issue. And one way to get people to come together is to paint things in a good light. So one of the things that's been suggested, and I agree with, is a very good idea, is to put music out on in paintings and all kinds of artistic things and interesting things that people might like, and let the people come up with their own ideas about what to do about world peace. So that's going to be the approach that we're going to use for this to begin with, and we're going to try to. We have some people that have been able to get music available, and we can also add artistic things, and so forth and so on. But the gist of the problem, just so everybody knows at this point, the gist of the problem is that things are just too tough. We're faced with things like shortages of power, shortages of metals, and all kinds of things like that need to be. Sorry, I'm just pretty tired. I've been working on this for at least 3 hours, trying to get this darn thing to work. It's almost like world peace, trying to get something like this to work. I don't know why. You try and you try and you try, and it just doesn't work. And maybe there's something wrong with my computer or my software. I don't know what. Something's definitely wrong. But anyway, I managed to etch away in here and get that going. So anyway, we need to work together, and the main way we're going to work together, I think, is to try to get the public talking. The main issue is getting people to talk, and people will talk more about interesting things and safe things than about difficult things, because difficult things are hard to solve. But nevertheless, as hard as they are to solve, we have to solve them. And not when I say we, I mean we, the people. We're one of the luckiest events to have ever occurred so far that we know of in our universe. We're the only people that we know of, not within a few miles, but within billions and trillions of miles, even looking out with our best telescopes, looking around to see what's happening. We can't find any sign of life at all elsewhere so far in the universe. So we're pretty important. I mean, what kind of importance would our universe have if we weren't in it? Well, it certainly wouldn't have any value to us, because we wouldn't be here. And the other thing is that because it wouldn't have any value to us, then who does it have value for? And what do we care if we're all gone? So the whole point of our existence is really staring us right in the face. We are the creation so far of the universe, and so far we are the only thing that can look back at the universe and say, hey, we're the only people here, so far as we know. And someday that may change, and we'll probably welcome it. because we don't want to be the only people in the universe. But of course, we don't want people in the universe that might be, negative to us. But anyway, I doubt that's the case. I think any people that can survive this far along will probably survive longer. But there's like a bottleneck now that we're going through, which has to do with the nuclear threat and a lot of other existential threats. The dinosaurs are a good example. The Earth got hit by a meteor, and the dinosaurs are gone. And they took, many, many millions of years to evolve on the face of the Earth. And who knows, they might have been people like us if they had another chance. They had the chance to evolve without the impact of the asteroids, or the asteroid that basically killed them. And it killed them by filling the Earth's atmosphere with dust and initiating nuclear winter. Or not a nuclear winter, but a cold winter, so cold that everything died out, unless it was underground or maybe in the oceans, deep in the oceans. So, and so it took almost as long to recover from that as it took for that to happen, for that life to have evolved on the Earth. Because the Earth at one time was just a ball of fire, molten Earth. So, the dinosaurs, they might have evolved into us if they had been given the opportunity. So they or we missed that chance, and we got another chance by the evolution of the primates and the eventual evolution of us. And we're probably the smartest thing that ever walked on the face of the Earth. But you wouldn't know it from the messes we have got ourselves in. So the only way that we can possibly solve these problems is to start talking about it. We need to have some interchange amongst ourselves. We need to have interchange with everyone. And we need to establish habits that keep us from always going towards animosity and destruction. And a lot of nations already have those kind of habits. A lot of nations are evolving those habits more and more. But there's also nations that are not evolving those habits more and more. And we've found that the humans don't really respond very much to facts like that. They just don't. They don't want to respond to them. And if they do respond to them, it's usually just a chunk of people here and a chunk of people there. And then also, the more evolved countries, take advantage of the less evolved or the less experienced, or whatever you want to call it. And so we're stuck here in this never land of not being able to be sane about our existence. We're willing to live with so many nuclear missiles ready to take off, and we're willing to live with other environmental issues. We're willing to live with our population is shrinking, so that's going to be another upset when that happens. We're willing to live with that. And until we evolve as a world to be able to do something besides, ignore these issues, unless we do something like find a way to deal with these issues, then we're going to go the way of the dinosaurs, probably. And just such a waste that is. And that's why I'm here talking to you. It's not because I want to be here. It's not because I think it's a great idea. No, it's none of that. It's just I feel like that life is precious. I feel like that we all should be thinking about how precious our lives are, and we should be doing whatever we can to preserve our lives. So that's why I'm here, trying to do what little I can. I want to help if there's a way to help. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to get conversations about world peace. So I don't need to dwell on the bad parts of this discussion. You know, the bad parts that nobody wants to dwell on. You know, the annihilation of people. You know, annihilation of everything. You know, we don't have to talk about that. But what we can try to talk about is, what are we going to do to improve the lives of everyone? What are we going to do to change our way of doing things so that we can actually see where a problem is a problem? I use a simple example. You know, if you're sitting around a fireplace and you're a cave person, and an unknown creature called a lion, now we call him a lion, came and sat next to you, and you said, "Oh, what a lovely pet," you know. And so maybe that was the case for a couple of days, maybe a couple of nights, but anyway, after a while, the lion decided to eat one of the people sitting there next to him. So it sounds a little rough, but the point is that now the rest of the people there who survived knew that this was a danger. This was a danger, and that's what you call, it's just logic. You know, it's awareness of danger. It's awareness of something's wrong. Okay. So that has to be dealt with, and because it's the truth. We need to be able to deal with the truth and keep the truth alive, because way too often somebody will come along and say, "Well, you know, that's really not a bad lion. Actually, you know, he's lovely." And I know you haven't seen the lions before, but you know, they're pretty. And meanwhile, that person walks away and with a little smirk on his face says, "Aha, he doesn't know." So that's what you call the absence of truth. You know, we have to have truth for sure, and so I'm going to stop there because it's late tonight. I've worked about 2 hours again trying to get this video working. I hope it's going to still work. Don't know if it will. Anyway, I started it and I'm not going to stop it because even though I'm tired and exhausted and I haven't really thought through this discussion too much, it's so obvious though that you don't need to think about it too much. You know, it's pretty easy to understand that we need to do something. So that's why we're having the conversations of world peace. We need to do something. We need to find a way to more easily speak about the issues that we as humans face. And let's try to do the things that are actually easy, fairly easy. You know, like population problem, we're running out of people because there are not enough babies. I mean, that's an easy problem to solve, but you know, we have to talk about it, and we have to decide what to do about it and why it's happening. But it needs to be something that's not viewed with angst or fear. And we just really need to be able to do these things. So conversations about them are going to be the best way to do that and get there. And so there's truth, you know, the truth that the lion, you know, wouldn't always be friendly. And then there's logic, which if you know the lion's not going to always be friendly, maybe you don't want to be around when he's too close to you. You know, and he might bite you or something, you know? I mean, you know, it's just truth and logic. It's that simple. It's that simple. The world is composed of, you know, it's not yes and no, but it's pretty close. You know, we know when something's bad for us. We know when something's good for us. That's called logic, you know. Truth is when you let everybody know that that's a problem, or let yourself know that that's a problem, because you might not be talking to yourself in a completely realistic way. So those are the things that we have to do, and the only reason I'm here talking is I'm trying to get a group together to help us do that, and the more people we can get together to talk about this thing, the more likely it will be that we can solve it, and we can solve these little problems. These problems are really little problems. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to take all the nuclear missiles down. It wouldn't be that hard to, you know, make sure that we didn't fight each other and kill each other. You know, it wouldn't be that hard if we just did it. And it wouldn't be that hard to face the truth, basically. You know, our problems are facing the truth, and then being logical, you know, and being honest. So those are not really hard goals to meet if everybody wants to do it, you know. And what are the things that stop us? Well, a lot of times it's people that are more powerful, either by the way they've grown up or something, and they cause power to be used against us. Or people that are very smart. I mean, we love people that are very smart as long as they're not, you know, making up vaccines that kill us or something like that. Anyway, so you know, it's we have to direct our efforts towards things getting better, and we have to distribute the wealth, sort of. But we're not going to solve that all right now. So, and I don't know that I have the answers. You know, I'm just somebody that's having trouble making a video. I wanted to tell you something, hoping that we can get something to happen to make our world safe and happy and make it last, not die out like the dinosaurs. So that's the end of this, but it's just the first video. We have other people too that are going to be talking, and we're hoping to get everybody that wants to participate in this. So, stay tuned, and I'll be giving you the next time all the details about how you have to contact us and get it in, how you can join the conversations in world peace. Now, the other thing that I forgot to mention is that, you know, there's beauty everywhere, you know, and one way to get people together a little bit better, or a little bit more, or completely, is to enjoy each other and enjoy the wonderful things that we have, that everybody agrees is good, and they're not bothersome. They don't hurt us, you know. And I'm talking about things like art, pictures, music, and sometimes you can tell stories with music. You can do it with just the tunes, or you can do it with the lyrics. But we don't want, and when I say we, I'm talking about 3 or 4 of us that are trying to get this set up, or maybe, you know, more than that, more like 50 or something like that. Anyway, you know, we want to celebrate the goodness, and we want to eliminate the things that are causing us trouble, like too much power in people's hands, you know, and all that. So let's try to make this, you know, a wide open forum where you can say what you want, and you can say anything you want about world peace, and why you want it, why you don't want it, why you don't think you need it, and so forth and so on. Whatever you want to say about it, just a general forum that we could talk about these things and bring them out so everyone knows something, might be possible to do to fix things. Let me take a very simple example. There is a nuclear reactor made in the 1950s, and it was proven in the 1960s to be, basically completely safe and also extremely environmentally friendly by comparison to a lot of the other methods like coal or things like that. Not a big collection of problems of nuclear waste. No, it's a breeder reactor. Basically, it's called a thorium breeder reactor, and it was proven in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. Not proven, but demonstrated that this reactor, could be made walk-away safe and didn't have any of the current problems that we associate with nuclear reactors. It wouldn't blow up. You can walk away, it won't go off. Even if it gets hit by, some kind of a meteor from space, it's not going to explode. Those kind of things, So, and it's basically so inexpensive that it's free, almost free, electric power. But for various reasons, and we can talk about that. Maybe somebody can straighten me out and why where I'm wrong about all this stuff. But there's people right now, like the Russians, not the Russians, the Chinese and the Indians are using this particular kind of reactor. So, they're fast making them because along with the coal plants that they're making. So it's like. Why don't we use things that are good for us? It's like, I'm not going to eat cookies more than 3 because they're not good for me, or I'm going to eat, well, you get the point. I'm running out of analogies here because I'm getting tired. But anyway, the point is that we need to talk about this stuff. We genuinely need to talk about this stuff, and not with me. With each other. We need to talk about this stuff with each other and try to make it an important conversation. And maybe, just maybe, we might be able to advance little by little, not a lot, just little by little, slowly, safely, to get rid of this nuclear Armageddon that we're facing, this population decline that we're facing, and you name it, there's a lot of things. So that's the end of my story, and I talked too long, had a lot of trouble getting this to work, and I hope it does work. So we'll be talking more, and not just me, for sure, not just me, but a lot of people will be talking and showing you art, showing you music, so that we can find a way to get along with each other and be productive with each other without such difficulties as we've had so far. Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is Roseanne Ritter, and I'm doing my video. We've had quite a week this past week, so my declarations, and I've already been working on them. My declarations are: 1, especially this past week, we left Kentucky after being there for like 7 weeks. So my one declaration was to pack while in Kentucky, and then drive home and unpack. So that was like 3 days worth. And then my second declaration was to see Gia from the British Virgin Islands with Carol, and we met her in Orlando. We had so much fun. We actually planned to go to the British Virgin Islands November 8th through the 15th, and we want to invite everybody. Gia is really excited about having a group of us come to the islands and see Tortola. So we're really excited about that. So more information will be coming out about that. And my third one is to have an ending date for my trip in July. That's going to be a class reunion for myself, and combine it with meeting family and a hiking trip in the Smoky Mountains. So those are my declarations, and I'm almost done with them. And I want to acknowledge all the people that raised their hands. If you raised your hand that you did your homework, you raised your hand. And if you didn't do your homework, you raised your hand. And if you wanted to comment about something Carol asked a question about, if you raised your hand, I wanted to acknowledge that it is really awesome that you raised your hand. You wanted to share the information that you had to share with other people, and that affects other people too. It affects me, so I'm glad you all raised your hand. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.
That was good.
We